It feels like a cheat code.
Yeah.
I don't have to bring any of my instruments. I don't got to lug a drum kit. 0 overhead, and we get paid.
Hit
Our
your
first
laptop.
out of Montreal show, we got paid a couple $100. And we're like looking at it, and it felt like we stole it. We basically just got to partake in a party.
Yeah.
And now we've got this envelope of money.
What's up, everybody? My name is Parker Excellence.
My name is Danny Ferrari.
And we are Excellent Sound.
That's
Welcome
right.
back to another episode of The Excellent Show. We have the infamous Adventure Club on the show with
The
us
legends.
today.
Whew.
The
Yo, what up?
legends.
Some OGs.
Dubstep,
Hell yeah.
Big
Let's go.
Room, EDM, dude.
The boys
I'm
are
very
here.
excited.
You guys have been around for a minute. Thank you guys for coming, bro.
Thank
A lot
you for having
longer than
us.
it feels
Definitely, yeah.
like. I remember being like, when we first started touring, like first year touring, like, you know, we'd be in like the festival transpo with like some old like OG like acts that had been around for like over 10 years, and it's like they just looked so tired and jaded. And now
They're
we're
like, "You'll
somehow like a finger snapped, and here like you blink, and here I guess we're those guys now. I try not to project that kind of energy, but maybe just because we're older, we just naturally kind of give that aura of just exhaustion. I don't know. But
Well, I mean, you guys spend a lot of time on the road.
we do.
It ages you
We
quite
do.
quickly.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways,
You
it's like
probably have some like really good strategies though to be on tour, right?
We do now. We've
been
definitely
doing it
like
for so long.
we've definitely
the
honed
strats,
in on
the strats,
especially currently.
the travel strats.
Yeah.
I feel like an OG is like to me when I think about Adventure Club, it's like a callback to like thinking about like the
golden
rise
days.
of EDM, the very beginnings of it, and you guys were there for it. So
We
it's
were
like,
yeah,
to
we
me,
were
it's
riding
like
that wave.
We got
It's
to
an
see like
honorable
all
thing
the
to be
all the
able to-
genres unfold.
Yeah.
We were like melodic dub, then we did the big room, then there was the trance, and they're like we're back in like the wonky dub era now.
Which I'm so here for.
Yeah.
So sick.
I wanted to ask you guys too, because like I was you know, just like getting like familiar with a lot of things that like memory wise, just like going back to that time, you know, to be one of the earlier dubstep groups for sure, like to come out in the scene. I always wonder, like we were talking about this with we were just having a conversation about like Cruella, and we were talking about like Rain Man, and we're like, how did that guy like learn how to do dubstep so good before the internet? And for you guys, like, how did you guys fucking learn how to do like those
there's
sounds?
no tutorials.
There was no like
Yeah,
there
'cause
was
you
no
guys-
resources for producers.
2012 and
Forums.
2013, and you guys were doing it on the level of like people were listening to it, and it was successful.
But then you
'cause-
go back and you listen to the stuff
like,
you're
what
producing
was
back
I
then.
doing?
But
and
okay,
it's
but at the
embarrassing.
time,
At the time,
I'm
yeah.
saying like
It was huge.
because I was trying to do the same thing, and it's like I don't necessarily think that you guys maybe you guys been doing EDM production a lot longer than I had, but I had music experience. But I was like, I could not figure out how to do those sounds.
Well, the sound, yeah, because like those were not the days of samples. Like if you
Yeah.
had your hands on some quality samples, like you like, you know, like you had some special sauce.
Yeah.
Like no,
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
people didn't have samples.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know.
There was
Maybe
no
maybe
vo-
I'm reaching into my memory and it's not accurate, but I feel like Sonny had like samples from Dr. Dre. You know, like
Yeah.
Skrillex, and like they had those nice, solid, you know, drum sounds.
it was just
Anyways.
like if you knew about Vengeance, like that was like
Yeah,
one tip.
yeah.
So
that was it.
So like sound design, there was a lot. You know, you had a lot more necessity for it because you can't
Yeah.
just be like, oh, I want something that sounds like this, and you shop through and you find some samples that work for you, or you know, touch them. Like you got to go ground up sound design. So
Yeah, try a lot of
we
trial
would
and error.
spend weeks just trying to sound design these like growls, like making patches. One of my favorites, and I love that I can still go back to it, is our Crayview growl. It's
Yeah.
a patch that we can still use, and it takes like a little different, like, you know, post processing, but the actual patch itself, it's in massive. Like
so
it's
sick.
it still slaps.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys just like so from your perspective, like dubstep becomes this like new thing. You guys are like in the center of it with everybody that are coming up. You know, you got Skrillex, Flux Pavilion at that time, 12 Planet, like
Nero.
all these people.
There was
and-
like a dozen of us. I
Yes,
think. Yeah.
right.
But
yeah,
I
there's
think
not a lot.
we were on the tail end of that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people you're referencing were people that we were listening to being like, holy shit, we want to like try to make shit like this.
Yeah.
So you guys just like were like I'm going to spend as much time. It was just like trial and error until I figure out how to make these sounds.
Spend time on forums. We had a little
forums,
studio put together to track our band.
Yeah.
Like just strictly to get down song ideas and track down demos without having to go pay some guy to track our demos for us. And like
I'm sorry,
it
guys.
was terrible quality.
Yeah.
It wasn't production. It was just like, I'm going to hit record on this thing and then I'm going to slam it in with this other thing I hit record on. Like there was no actual mix, you know, but like you could still get the foundation of an idea for a song that way. So we were heavy in the pop punk, heavy in the screamo hardcore world.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
And we started hearing dance music getting heavier and doing these drops, dubstep, halftime, growly, bassy drops that were really similar to the heavy metal breakdowns that we were like always chasing. So we just started messing around with synths. And I don't even think at that point like it was to do EDM. It was more just like, let's see how we can integrate this into our metal music, you know?
Yeah.
But we started really having fun with the wonky ass sounds,
So
doing
sick.
some wobbles, doing some bit crushing,
Yeah.
you know, the yoys.
Yeah.
Modern talking.
Yeah.
So wait,
we actually never
Yeah,
we
I
never
know,
really
I
used
know.
modern talk. I think modern talking sounds great.
I do too.
Yeah, you
It's
know?
making
Shout out
a-
Modern
it's making a
Talking.
comeback.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
back, bro. It's
back.
not. It's okay to use now.
And what's the like V for Vendetta guy song? Oh my god, what's that song?
Nicky
That was
Romero.
just- Nicky Romero.
Yeah.
What was the song that was just
Toulouse.
Toulouse.
Yeah.
Just that was just
And it was just modern talking.
But it's so good.
It's so good.
Was that like a joke when it came out? I think
Well,
it was.
okay, so
It
right?
at
might
that
have been.
time, because everybody was trying to do dubstep, and the only thing that most people knew if you weren't in, you guys were doing it professionally, right? But for somebody that was
Oh,
like
man.
trying to figure out,
Thank you.
yeah, you are. No, you are, and you still are. But like, I'm saying, like, for somebody that was like, I was just getting into EDM and producing, I was like, I know that this specific wavetable sounds like it. So then what happened is people just were like modern talking.
Yeah.
So everybody used it, and then it became like lame if you used modern talking.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a meme.
exactly.
Well,
And
wasn't there like
what-
the
Knife
myth
Party?
with- yeah, Knife Party.
Knife Party released like a no modern talking
Yeah.
album or
Yeah.
something, right? Like
There's
that was the
plenty of
title of it. What was the
wavetables.
title of it? No
Yeah.
modern talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
that
like
was
that.
it.
Something like that made with no modern talking.
And like
So-
coming from them who come from Pendulum, like when
Yeah.
they're shitting on modern talking,
Yeah.
they're the best producers in the game. It's
Right.
like we can't go against that.
So
It's
what's the modern talking? Probably like
I have no-
square four.
Probably-
square four.
probably
for
it's
rhythm.
definitely. Oh my God. But yeah, Serum's kind of got. I think people are going back to Massive. I love Massive, but I
Yeah.
think Serum's got the edge on those growls. But like a lot of it's just. I feel like modern talking is now just like sample packs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I'm all like if you just like take it and drop it in and that's your whole song, that's one thing. But like if you're mixing stuff in and you're doing a lot of post processing, chopping stuff up,
Yeah.
like doing all kinds of stuff with it, well then
Yeah.
So also, you guys were in Cubase.
Yeah.
We like
We
read
gotta talk
and
about
read
that.
online.
Is that not
no,
true?
Cubase.
Cakewalk.
Cakewalk.
Yeah,
Sonar.
Cakewalk, that's
Sonar
right.
Cakewalk.
Sonar
yeah,
producer.
dude.
It's not.
That's
we
such a
weren't-
band dog.
It's not.
too.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not
Yeah,
EDM
'cause we were-
friendly at all.
We were tracking for a band on
Yeah.
it exactly, but we were. It's not a word. We still are.
Nice.
Isn't the MIDI like on
In
the
there.
line instead of in between the lines, like in the
I
DAW?
don't even know what that means.
Yeah, what do you
There's-
mean?
So like, okay, it's either Cubase or Cakewalk. I might be mistaken.
Okay.
But like when you're putting a MIDI note on, like when it's on the grid, you're on the line. But like in
no,
Ableton,
no,
you're
it's
in
in,
between.
it's
You're
in
in
the
between,
grid.
no,
It's in.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my
There's
God.
no like.
It's crazy, and it's a diamond.
I see
Yeah,
what you're
no,
saying.
that's oh no, that's awful.
There's
That's
like
not
very,
Cakewalk.
very
probably
limited,
Cubase.
limited automation, and I don't think you can copy paste envelopes or anything.
Well, that's the issue. But
Yeah.
we've learned to finesse it over time. Like because I don't think it has much support anymore. Like but I'm not talking about from like a
Yeah.
like a user base, like
Yeah.
from upstairs. So we're not we're not getting updates or anything. So whatever bugs
crazy.
whatever bugs are built in are the bugs we're baked in with. So yeah, we got the workarounds to workflow.
Yeah,
to
but I do think it was like
get some
very
envelopes to-
influential in the Adventure Club sound.
Yeah,
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 just the
for
way we
sure.
had to work around things.
Yeah,
That's
like
for
when
sure.
we work within a cage, you know, you're gonna come up with like different solutions for something
Exactly,
that like
yeah.
we're in Ableton, we just do it like this, like super simple, but like you have to like, have some crazy workarounds.
Yeah, I think if we started diving into production like probably 5 years later than we did, we would have made that transition right away to Ableton because there's so much support, so many videos. Like you can get anything you want done. Every kind of collaboration is going to be super easy because you're just sharing the project files that. I've gotten a lot of pressure to.
I would imagine.
Sometimes we watch producer friends on Ableton and we're just like, must be nice.
Have you guys ever actually just given it a shot, or like, do you feel like you're inspired?
It's like speaking a different language.
Yeah,
that's
like,
good.
And you can, so we've
learn
learned. It's
language.
like, okay, I've learned to speak this second language, but it's not my first language. And there's just always going to be this constraint because. I mean, I was working in Cakewalk when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit before that. Like I got into blues guitar was my first kind of venture into music. And like I was just recording backing tracks and then doing improv solos on top of it and stuff. So that's when I had gotten Cakewalk for the first time. And that would have been about 25 years ago.
Damn. Wow. I also, the first DAW I ever opened up was also Cakewalk.
There we go.
Yeah,
Nice.
really?
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
And then I had an old boss used to make this digital recorder that you could record tracks onto, but it was like a 4-track. And so me and my friends would write emo songs and just
that
like
red one?
There was a red one, but it was like literally 4-track. And then we figured out about Sonar.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know about Pro Tools. And then I had like messed with Pro Tools, Logic, and then eventually Ableton. But I wanted to talk about you guys because you guys are also emo boys from back in the day, right?
We still are.
yeah.
We're still
Controversial take on this too, but I fucking love Brand New. Okay,
True.
Not a fan of Jesse Lacey, what he's done.
Yeah,
Right, we
yeah.
don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
But I found out that you guys had done a Daisy
We did.
remix.
That was one of our first very
The
popular.
first
remixes,
ones that went viral.
And
yeah.
I was
That
like,
that hype
holy
on,
shit.
Was it Hype M?
Hype M,
Machine?
yeah.
That was like the aggregate that put all
Yep.
kinds of.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
love Hype Machine.
that was our first #1 chart on Hype Machine.
Wow.
I was surprised. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. And I read that. I was like, oh, these guys are fans of Brand New. But also, why did you choose fucking Daisy, guys? What the fuck? Deja Intendu, bro. Fucking the devil and God are raging inside of me. Are you guys big fans of Daisy? Because I was like, at Daisy, I was like, I can't do
It,
it.
it
anymore.
was a toss-up between Jesus
God,
and Daisy.
such a good song.
But Daisy just lended itself better to being a dubstep song.
It's like
Yeah.
the
Remodeled.
little vocal choppy stuff that we
Yeah.
were doing.
Yeah.
And it was. I think it was like a good song to bootleg too because of how much space there was around
Yeah,
Sure.
vocal.
exactly.
And you were like, I want to like show my roots. Like at the time, this is
Exactly.
before shit. You knew bad shit about him, but like
Way before.
yeah. So you guys put out this remix in this new genre you guys are experimenting with, and it does awesome, right? How did that feel like? And then what did you guys do to decide, like, fuck being in a band? Like,
Well,
we're
that's
doing
the
this
thing.
full
Our
time, or-
band was never like. It was a young high school band kind of thing. Like, and we were changing skins all the time, like reskinning the band because our music tastes were changing so fast. You know,
Right.
we're kids. But like, you know, some people would listen to our stuff, but for the
Some
most
people would come to
part, it was
shows.
friends and family.
This was local bands.
Local bands.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
like-
I think our highlight was opening up for Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Sick.
Sick.
But we didn't have a lot of people listening to our music unless we were like, you know, twisting their arm.
Right.
So to have people like on the internet that you've never met, like just it's like you're refreshing the play count on SoundCloud, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna talk with Leighton for like 60 seconds. We're gonna hit refresh, and it's like, oh my god, we just got 20 plays in those 60 seconds. You know, it's like 20 people listen that we don't know, just listen to something that we made while we had this 1 minute long conversation. It was completely mind blowing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was the big like catalyst that blew you guys out and you guys started touring?
Yeah.
Like
I feel like-
was it a certain remix or was
Yeah.
it like how did that all happen?
I think it was the 1-2 punch Daisy, Crave You.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Daisy, it kind of gave us that push, and popularity, if you will.
The hype.
That gave the hype that gave like kind of made us take it a bit more seriously, and then I think Crave You was that next step in like I think we hit a couple. We charted on Hype M because that was our
Which
gauge.
is huge,
That was
bro.
our
You
gauge.
gotta hype
for-
it, like,
yeah.
dude.
So we hit a couple like #1 slots on Hype M, and then Crave You kind of just propelled us and took like new levels, you know, where it was hitting like 1 million plays,
Yeah.
and we were like, wow, yeah. and I think probably around when we released Crave You was when we like maybe before that actually, but like that was when we started booking shows outside of Montreal.
Outside of Montreal, and thanks to the boys in Big Gigantic. They
Oh,
took us on
yeah.
our first
Yeah, that was our
ever
first tour.
Yeah, it was Big
Dude.
Big
Gigantic.
cosign?
Us and Grizz, yeah, huge.
That was-
huge
Grizz
tour.
too?
Grizz too, yeah.
Oh, okay, sick.
That was
was awesome.
super fun, and that was
Yeah, shout out those boys.
Leighton was a show goer. I was not a show goer. I was a homebody. I loved the music, but didn't go to shows. I went to like Warped Tour once, but really stayed home. So I'd never even been to a rave or a dance style party before.
Nice.
That's wild.
Before we started playing
Yeah.
and DJing, and going on tour with Big G.
Yeah.
I remember the very first tour date, because at that point in time, I didn't understand why people went to shows. I'm like, it doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like it's the music. It's gonna sound best when I'm listening to it on my own. That was me, right? And then we get off the bus, we play our first set, and like we didn't have the full production obviously when we were playing.
Yeah.
And then I just went into the crowd and like the LED that they'd said I hadn't even seen it. Like I probably didn't show up to sound check because I was sleeping. But the LED wall lights up like all red, and the saxophone busts out, and like the music starts. I don't know. I was like, it just clicked. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
What a tour to get
Yeah.
the culture.
And
I
the
was like,
time,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
The timing of that must have been so crazy and fun. This
Yeah.
new fucking
Oh, man.
genre that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
blowing up, and you guys are a part of it.
You give
Felt
me
nice.
goosebumps.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it was an extremely eye-opening experience, and I just remember like watching their whole set and being completely mind blown.
Yeah.
And being like, I get it now. I know why the people want to do the thing that they're doing. That we are now also doing.
And so for like coming from a band, I don't know if you guys mentioned this or not, but were you guys still in your band when you guys started doing this side project, or had you guys stopped and were doing Adventure Club full time?
So we were hypothetically in the band, and I remember going because Leighton and I were always in the same group, but we rotated other members. I remember like going and having a tryout with like a drummer, and then going and sitting in my old beige '97 Toyota Camry
Sick.
with the tape deck thing that you can plug your phone
Yeah.
into,
Yeah.
and like playing like a little like dubstep idea after like our tryout.
session.
Dude.
And then it's like, I like this is so cool, and I think that was probably like the aha moment where like we should probably stop trying out for new band members and just see where this can take
Yeah.
us.
That's awesome.
One of our ex band members, we also kind of extended to him to be part of the group.
Oh, he could have been part of
And
it.
he listened to some of the stuff, and he's like, "You guys should probably stick to your regular music."
Wow, dude. Wow.
Dude.
I think there's something special about like EDM because like we all came from bands.
Yeah.
And I remember that switch over as well. And like when you make EDM, it's like a faster gratification. Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're producing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When you're
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the band, you have to write with somebody else. You have to be
Dude.
like, hey, do you like this?
Do you
have
like
to
my new
play
riff?
it.
Yeah.
You have to like record it in some weird way. It sounds like shit.
Yep.
You know, and then you have to try really hard to make it sound good. But like with EDM, it's like you're there and you can make something awesome
Yeah.
very quickly.
Here's your thing.
And I remember
Yeah.
that instant gratification I had when I first started producing, like from the metal like rock scene, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
and you have
it's-
so much at your fingertips, like sonically and stylistically, right? Like
Yeah.
you could genre hop to anything. You could take any instrument out of anywhere. You know, if you're using samples like we were talking about, like
Yeah.
you got your, any instrument, anything you can possibly think of,
Yeah.
like you can integrate it into your music if it's inspiring you, right? Which
I have a similar like sort of story where a buddy and I had been in bands and we had started we got kicked out of our band or something, and then he didn't really have any musical talent. He was just like the screamer.
Nice.
But he had really good ideas and he was really good with computers. So he started like making electronic music, and then we started a duo, and then we would look at you guys and be like, oh, these guys are doing it, right? And like, he was like showing me Cruella and and Skrillex and all this stuff just
Yeah.
like started, wow, this is crazy. And we were not very good at all, like at all. But I remember where it clicked for me, kind of like what you guys were saying, was we got an opportunity because we had friends that were doing like an electronic pop group. They were called Hyper Crush, and they were like kind of
Remember Hyper Crush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hyper Crush, right? So they're like, hey, like, do you guys want to come on tour with us? Right? We're doing this EDM. It's like a paint foam party. And I had been in bands and we'd done like the van thing. never gotten paid anything, always
Yeah.
losing money. And I'm not saying that we made a bunch of money, but the first, like, it was a 2-week tour, and it was like just through like 3 states. And I remember we weren't even direct support. We were just an opening like DJ group. We got paid. We got hotels.
Yep.
We got an RV to travel in with them the entire
Nice.
way.
Per
Everything
diem.
was taken care of per diem.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying it was a lot of money, but I remember just being like, wow, there's
No,
two
you
of
didn't have
us.
to lug any cabs.
Yeah.
No like drum sets to bring out anywhere. It was. Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck are we
Yeah.
doing trying to be
Yeah.
in bands?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just you and me. We actually made money because this thing is this genre is exploding. And from there, I was like, I'm never going to be in a band again.
Yeah,
You
kind
know
of
what
feels
I'm
like
saying?
it feels like a cheat code.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, so I don't have to, like you're saying, I don't have to bring any of my instruments. I don't got to lug a drum kit across.
Yeah.
0 overhead. Yeah. And we get paid.
Yeah.
I remember,
Just
I
a
remember when
backpack-
our
a backpack and
our
your
first
laptop.
out of Montreal show, we got paid a couple $100.
Yeah.
Oof.
In cash. It was in an envelope.
Nice.
It was at Ritual, right?
Yeah.
Carlisle gave us an envelope, and it was
bless you,
$20.
Carlisle.
And
Shout out
all of
Carlisle.
Shout out, Carl.
all of the $20 bills were all facing the exact same
Yeah.
way.
Oh, he was a man of business.
crispy.
Yeah.
It was crispy, and we're like looking at it, and it felt like we stole it.
Yeah.
It's like, how did we just get away with just? We just drove to. It was Ottawa. It's a 2-hour drive for us. We just drove to Ottawa, played like a really. We basically just got to partake in a party.
Yeah.
And now we've got this envelope of money.
And it's still like obviously it's a little bit harder, but like it's still like that because like the reason why I was like bringing that as an example too is like we had no fans. We just had
Zero, yeah.
we just had a friend that was kind of teaching us, and he gave us a chance, and he's like, okay, you guys
Yeah.
are like trying to do this out, and you know what, I'll help you out. And it was like nobody knew who we were,
Yeah.
but people were there at
Going
shows
crazy
and
for it,
watching.
too. Yeah.
If
They
you're
were
a
bumping.
band and nobody
Yeah.
knows who you are, nobody's fucking
No one's
coming.
there.
Oh yeah.
Besides your
Yeah,
friends
like
and family.
3
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And so like to me, and it was, and then to see like you guys and other people like being successful along the way, be like, oh, these guys came from bands, we're from bands, like they're a duo, like we could do it. Obviously, we ended up like doing our own things down the road, but you know, so cool that you guys are still here, still fucking doing it, and
Hell
still
yeah.
killing
Thank
it.
you.
What's up, guys? Want to take a quick break from the video to tell you about our newest drops-only Serum pack, Wook Bass. If you are looking to make release-ready dubstep and Wook Bass like Subtronics, Tape B, Boogie T, this pack is for you. Stop scrolling through endless preset libraries that are just sub-tier and start using the best Wook Serum presets in the industry. Also, P.S., there's absolutely no chords or plucks, just drop-ready basses for your next production. Now let's get back into the video.
And also, I'm just curious for you guys. You know, I'm in a duo now with Parker. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got our duo where we do produce together. We produce for other people. We do our
Nice.
YouTube. We do our podcast. For you guys, being in a duo is a very, very special skill. It's a relationship, right? You guys have been together for a very, very long time,
Yep.
right?
How long have you guys been together?
Since
Oh, dude, probably
2017?
2016, 2017.
almost 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Our anniversary's coming up, dude.
Oh, dude, we should kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for you guys, like, what are some challenges that you guys have had, and what are some like, you know, some pros and cons of being in a duo together? Do you guys feel like?
So here's the crazy thing:
we're
is I
pretty
feel like we're
blessed.
such an exception to the rule because we don't ever get on each other's nerves. We don't ever fight or butt heads.
Really?
It's so weird. Yeah. Yeah.
Still?
I think, yeah.
Still, yeah.
I feel like I have to credit Leighton with this more than me because Leighton's like the most patient, kind of like chill person in the world. Like I've never seen anyone get under his skin, let alone me, right? So,
Wow,
like, okay, we had a fight
takes
You
a
once.
seem
lot.
pretty
It takes a
chill.
lot,
You're
yeah.
both pretty
Yeah.
chill, but your vibe is definitely chill.
I'm the more anal of the two of us. Like
Okay.
you know, things will rub me in. I'll be a little bit more complainy
Sassy.
sometimes. I checked myself after like a couple years of touring because I was getting a little too invested in not being happy about what was, you know,
Yeah.
whatever
Get yourself
travels.
upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was just complaining about everything.
Understand.
And we, anyways, we had a tour manager who also liked complaining a lot at that point in time.
Yeah, it was
So
contagious.
I was looking at, you know, our TM, who's just pissed off about everything, and at Leighton, who has never had a problem with anything in his life. And I can see the quality of life between.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, Leighton's just behaving differently,
Yeah.
like a grown up. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna take this path. So I started checking myself a little bit on, you know, if I was if something wasn't going the way I wanted it to, you know, let's say something stupid like our hotel room's not ready on time, you know, something that would like frustrate you a little bit. I would just try not to bitch about it, and it
Just chill.
Yeah, and it started on the outside, but it kind of like, you know, slowly crossed over onto the inside as well. And I feel like I'm still definitely more uptight anal. I don't know. But I feel like I'm normal. Like I feel like Leighton's the abnormal one. Like literally nothing. So anyways, good positive progress, and a lot of kudos to Leighton for our lack of ever getting into any kind of heated, except for that one time at McDonald's. We had a McDonald's fight.
You had a McDonald's fight, Mickey D fight.
Were there some like chairs thrown?
So we had probably the worst show of our lives. It was like we don't know who booked it. It was like because back then we played weird shit. Like we still definitely play weird shit, but back then it was very weird. And like it was also people were less familiar with that music. So like we went and played like a 40 plus
top 40
table
club.
like 40 plus like age wise top 40 like tables. People don't face the DJ kind of thing, and it was just so
Miserable and
uncomfortable. And we didn't want to just like flip to, you know, playing the YMCA or whatever. Yeah. But we just went through it. But it was a very
grueling,
unfortunate experience for the crowd and for us. And then we're driving back, and it was a long drive back home. We stopped at McDonald's. We got 2 vanilla iced coffees. And my guess is that Leighton's vanilla iced coffee got both of our vanilla iced coffees vanilla pumps. Because mine was just watery old coffee, and Leighton's was extra delicious. So Leighton got 2 pumps, and I wasn't pissed that he got, but I was just pissed that I got a shitty coffee because I was, you know, and I was young and upset. I threw the coffee out the window, not at the McDonald's people, just like into the parking lot.
Yeah. Just had a shitty show.
I was pissed off. I took a sip. I was like, "This is horrible." I took a sip of Leighton's. I'm like, "This is the best thing." So I took mine, and it was plastic cup and ice. It wasn't like glass, and I just tossed it into the parking lot as we were leaving. Is a moment of weakness.
The coffee
that's your big fight. You threw
so Leighton's.
Okay, I was like, that's it, guys.
So Leighton's driving, and Leighton stops the car and says, "You have to go pick that up." He was
having it.
He was dadding me.
Nice.
He was also in a bad mood.
You need to be
You're both in bad moods. He's like, "This is my license plate. It reflects poorly on us." He's like, "You gotta go pick that up." Damn. And I was like, "There's no fucking chance I'm picking that up." And we got a little pretty heated about that.
Yeah. Said some words.
This is our biggest fight.
Yeah.
So it's like pretty silly, right? And we sat in that parking lot having whatever kind of showdown we were having about it. Anyways, there was no chance in hell that I was getting out and picking that thing up. So eventually Leighton drove away, and right as Leighton, because the window's still open when Leighton went to drive away, someone yelled, "Pick up your garbage, asshole."
Damn, they got you.
That's sick.
Me.
And we didn't, to Leighton. And we didn't talk for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, Leighton had also gotten some like breakfast wraps.
Probably the best breakfast wraps.
About 2 hours later, I think I mumbled like, "I hope your breakfast wraps sucked." And then he left, and we were back at it.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we had a 2-hour-long fight in a 15-year relationship of working together as well.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. You know,
exception to the rule. Yeah,
a little
definitely.
crazy.
Yeah,
too.
it is crazy.
We've had some showdowns, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but it's like natural. You know,
Definitely
like
natural.
We're accepting of it as long as we both have the goal of like, look, we don't want to break up. We want to want us to be better, and we both have this. We have to remind ourselves sometimes that like, hey, we both want the best things for excellent sound. Like ultimately, that's what it is. And then if you're fighting about anything else, whether it be like, you know, how to deal with like running a business and like money or like whose idea you're going to use. It's like ultimately you both want to keep doing the same thing. And if we keep reminding ourselves of that, and that we try to like put it back on our friendship.
Definitely.
Because we've had some
real
bad
straining.
Yeah. It's hard,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, that's not to say we don't have creative differences, but we're always able to find like a middle common ground.
Yeah. You always, at those trying times, remind yourself how much easier it is to not be in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for
and also,
sure.
I don't want to do this alone, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't, like, Excellent Sound, we've talked, Excellent Sound, our thing would not work if it was just one of us doing it. You know, we might be able to do our own projects separately, but, like, it's not going to be
Yeah.
what this is. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing is worse than trying to write a song with and
should do what they
the drummers chiming in with his
Yeah, fuck the drummer.
Dude, the
He's a
band
drummer.
practice ADHD drummer just
stupid
fucking
ideas. And he's telling you your ideas are terrible and you know he's wrong.
So wait, I have a bunch of crazy questions now that we just talked about that. So creatively, how do you guys split the work? What do you like doing? What do you like doing?
Christian is definitely like the production powerhouse. I'll like
Cool.
sit in on sessions, like we'll come up with creative ideas, but as far as like taking the idea from like 30% to completion, Christian is definitely the guy. He's definitely
Nice.
experienced with the DAW.
Yeah, it's the yin yang, and then
Yeah.
Lay
Yeah.
is
I definitely
much
like
more dominant on the live performances.
Yeah,
and
like I'm definitely
curating
the crate digger. I'll like spend hours
Sick.
just looking at music, SoundCloud or whatever,
So
mashups,
important.
That's
and
awesome.
stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah. So like Leighton leads at shows, and I lead in the studio.
yeah.
Got it.
So I was also going to ask you guys, like, it's very rare for us to have, first off, duos on the show, but also like your style of EDM, which I feel like you guys are multi-genre, but also you guys are very like mainstream too, which I feel like a lot of people try to go for, but they don't really achieve it. You know, it's very difficult.
It's
And
a lot harder to write like you're saying, like
Yeah.
a
It could be
clean,
pop,
polished,
but it's
Yeah.
like
a clean, polished song like that. It's a lot harder to write like that than like you would think.
for sure.
Like people being like, "Oh, I don't write like that. It's too easy." Like take a shot at it
Yeah.
and try to write like a top hit.
Yeah,
It's-
dude. No, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
tough.
not easy.
So what are some kind of shows and like situations that you guys get into? So you said there was like a terrible show that like caused a fight. I don't want to talk about that, but like
I do.
You were telling me earlier like you guys are playing like a K-pop like,
Yeah.
concerts. Like that's interesting. That's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. And like your classic dubstep DJs not going to be doing like stuff like that. So I feel like that's a really cool like niche that you guys can be like going in and out of.
Well, I'm a big K-pop fan, and over the years, I've done a couple K-pop mixes under the Adventure Club umbrella, and it seems like a lot of like promoters and festival buyers they really love the mix series.
Yeah.
And so we've been booked for these specific K-pop sets. It does involve a lot of Adventure Club music.
Cool.
I just like to like incorporate a lot of K-pop acapellas.
And Leighton is very much the driver for the K-pop sets.
Yeah, that's what you had
Yeah.
said when you came in here. You're like, I don't know, that's his thing. Like, I trust him on that. And that's
Yeah.
great. You got it. You got to do in partnership.
Yeah.
Is like know when to trust your partner for
Well,
sure.
look, like I'm not deep enough into the genre to be able to like say, oh, I can say like what do I prefer, but like I'm not entrenched at all. So
Yeah.
like my opinion is not very important as far as song selections for these sets go.
Yeah.
And obviously Leighton's done kind of a musical mastermind anyway, so I have
So you're the K-pop. You're the K-pop stan.
yeah.
That's sick. That's dope. So you guys put together these. So like, is this like going to be like something you guys are to continue on, like hopefully, or are you guys like, what are your guys' plans for the future as far as like releases and obviously for live shows?
Releases, we have a couple coming up. What we're really like focused on right now is our Throwback tour.
Sick.
So we're not
So
playing
dope.
any music that we made post 2015. This is really like a callback to like all our old school Adventure Club fans. And yeah, for what we're doing, a 3-month long tour, and it's just like brand new remix, thrice remix, all that old stuff, all the like the old school Corella stuff that we wrote.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I think that like, especially like, it's weird. Like, I know that like Skrillex put out, his mixtape, and it was like a lot of BROSTEP, and it was a lot of like
Yeah.
unfinished stuff. But like before he did that, like Parker and I were just like talking, and we're like, dude, like it feels like there wasn't even anybody making anything, but it was just like a feeling like BROSTEP's coming back. Like you just get
Definitely.
this feeling. If you're in the world, you get the feeling like,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the thing. And it might not even be you're hearing anybody doing it, but it feels like that, right? And then Skrillex does that,
Yeah.
right? You guys are already planning to bring back the Throwback, right?
And
Definitely.
we
Getter's
the sound.
coming back.
Yeah.
It's like it's the perfect timing for that, but also it's like it's weird how it's like this sort of like I said, it's not necessarily like you're trying to jump into the wave or like, oh, that's what they're doing, let's get into it, right? It's like you already know it's happening. I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain it.
Well, I think part of it is that like we got into the scene when the fans got into the scene. We were all experiencing it and learning it at the same time, so that it's like a cyclical thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think like, you know, you experiment and you push the boundaries as far as you feel like you can in a sound, and then you want to kind of explore different areas, and we've been, you know, we've gotten enough perspective and space on those sounds that like they feel amazing to come back to, and you have like new skills and you know, new experiences. So and I feel like we're on a very comparable journey to the fans because we were on the same timeline. So I feel like, you know, it's all natural because, you know, it's happening the same at the same kind of time. Like it's like, oh man, that stuff really does sound good. You know, like listening to a new release of like an old style wonky dubstep track, but it's got like, you know, the 2025 production on it. It's like, holy smokes, this is just so fun to listen to, right? So you know, I think it's just organic. Yeah.
Are you guys going to be like reworking your old songs so they kind of like hit differently live?
That's a can of worms.
Because like it is a can of worms.
You guys have been talking about this.
Because the reason I ask is like Skrillex, when he was playing like Red Rocks and Ultra, we could tell that he replaced a couple kicks. Just kicks, just snares, just to like give it like a modern punch. So I always wanted to ask you guys, like, is that an option? Like,
I think with the Throwback set, there is an expectation that we are playing our old songs, so some of them might not bang on systems just like the new stuff is, and I think the fans are expecting that. So if like there's differences in quality between like the mixes and some of our old songs and like some of our newer old songs, I think that's the experience the fans want.
But it's also a vibe too, because like at EDC, I saw Rusko and Caspa, and like it did not sound like Cranked At and like Levity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was,
exactly.
But I enjoyed it because I know the music, and I was like, oh my god, they're playing that song. You know?
Woo Boost.
So they're playing Woo Boost. Like, dude.
Like Bangarang still slaps. Like if you went to a festival, but it's not as loud or clean or as anywhere near production quality as what we're hearing now. But it still slaps.
That I mean, his production was like, I feel a huge push for the production we have. In today's generation, like he was mixing things a lot, a lot heavier on the highs. He was scooping that little, muddy area in the 200, 300,
letting that snare come
hertz. Through. Like it was his. I don't know. It looks like that little Nike check.
Yeah.
I feel like he was pushing that sound, and like a lot of stuff he was releasing sounded so much better because like that was his sound design. So I feel like even though Bangarang doesn't sound like up to scuff to new stuff, like Bangarang sounded then like what new stuff sounds to the old stuff now, right?
True.
Like it still was like, holy moly, that's so loud and so crispy. But like the bass is still coming through, like,
Do you think that if you knew what you know now production wise, right? And you guys have all the production knowledge, songwriting knowledge, and you guys release a track that you would write in 2025 now in 2012, right? In 2012, do you think that people would be accepting to it, or do you think it would be like too much where they'd be like, I'm not ready for this. This is too aggressive, or it's too loud, or
sound systems were different too, and the sound systems were tuned differently, especially for live shows, right? Based on what is being played. So I think it just sounds like just ear bleeding. Yeah, I think it's like way too harsh. Like you would try to mix one of the, I mean, I remember we would mix really bright occasionally, like extra bright on some tracks, and then try them out live, and it was like you felt like you were actually like ruining people's ears. They're like like you'd hear like the sharp, So I think if you just threw one of those tracks into the mix, people would be like, this sounds awful. I think, but that's because the systems aren't
I
tuned
think so
the right
too.
way.
Yeah. Also the maturity of our ears.
Yeah, our ears have evolved, our listening ears. Like, imagine Sudden Death playing in 2012. Bro, people would be like, this is garbage. Yeah. What the fuck is this?
I would not be ready for that, yeah.
But
UKF
unless, like there could have just been, maybe just like it would have caught right away.
Yeah.
I could see that too, because like the stuff, Skrillex was pushing was sounding better than everything else. So
right.
Like in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, you're not wrong.
We'd play it live and it'd be like, man, why doesn't our shit sound that good? So, could go both ways.
You guys also had a really cool experience that I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I could be wrong because I'm not like in. We play shows and we've played like some festivals and stuff like that, but we haven't really toured. But I feel like you guys also came up in an era where like touring was big in EDM, and now it kind of seems like it's mostly just fly dates for a lot of people, right?
We're talking like bus tours.
Bus tours.
Yeah, bus tours.
Yeah.
Like, there's no bus tours anymore, right? Like,
true.
They're too expensive.
they're too expensive, right? But like, and I don't know if it's. I still think the draw is there. I mean, there's still people going to EDM shows. But maybe the overall excitement of like having an EDM group come to their town and going to it like it was like a band, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Does that
kinda
feel
lost.
different for
Yeah,
you guys
very,
now?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think there's some guys who will have that draw based on the fact that they're bringing like their production with them. You know, like the Excisions of the world. That like they're still going to be able to pull that. It's like, and you know, I'm assuming Jeff has to travel with a couple
Buses,
Couple-
couple 18-wheelers.
Yeah, that guy.
freight.
Yeah,
has, you know,
he's
there's
doing
a
a whole
lot.
festival, so he's
Yeah.
got.
Yeah, well, there's that
trucks.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So obviously he's gonna have to, you know, wheels on the ground travel to shows, I would assume. But yeah, it's not what it used to be in that sense, for
Yeah.
sure.
Do you guys have any good like war stories, like any great tour stories from back in the day? Because you guys
Oh,
were on some
God.
of the greatest tours back at that time too.
many.
You guys in
Too many
Cruella
that,
was a
like,
huge tour. That tour was huge,
Yeah,
bro.
that was insane.
Everybody was going to that shit.
Yeah,
That one was fun. The
Yeah.
Safe and Sound one was fun. There's a lot that like we can't really discuss anymore, just based on how,
Off the pod,
yeah,
dude?
Like
yeah.
Safe and Sound was the most bonkers
Yeah.
tour that we were on, and that's when we met her.
That was like what Excision, Destroyed, Flex Pavilion, Terra Vita.
Oh,
Us.
Terra Vita,
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
about
So
them.
so Terra Vita is like part of like that. One of the members of Terra Vita is our tour manager now.
Oh no
And
shit!
like
Yeah, best
super
friends.
good friend, best
Yeah.
friend.
They're like some
Super-
heavy dubstep.
super cool dudes.
Heavy dubstep. They
Obviously,
pretty
we're
much,
super
I
good
think,
friends
like
with them.
invented
I mean,
drum step.
I think I can't
Drum
find a
step.
drum
Yeah.
step track that dates earlier than their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
you're right.
I forgot about them. Terra Vita.
Oh yeah.
Love
so
Terra.
we met John on tour
Cool.
from Terra Vita, and then Chris afterwards. And we got up to no good. We we were. I remember we were specifically we were table jousting.
Table
So
jousting.
we were in the green room and we picked up the old
Folding
the
tables.
folding tables, the pong tables, and we were jousting.
Pretty much just
with
running into
them,
each other.
just
with them.
charging. And who was it? Trollface.
I was up against Trollface.
Leighton was up against
Big
Trollface.
You had to go,
mistake.
yeah, that's a big guy.
Yeah,
Huge
so
guy.
Leighton got shut down. I think we all got shut down. We almost, because when you really think about it, if you hit the table, depending on where you're holding it, those legs collapse. That's
Yeah,
just a
they
finger
collapse on
trap,
you.
man.
Yeah.
Your fingers are gone if you're holding it the wrong way. And we weren't even thinking about that. We were so drunk. I had a slap war with John.
It was less of a war.
I convinced him that we had to just slap each other, but he got to go first, so I never got to my slap. I was a lot lighter than too. I was probably like 160, $160, little guy, and he just clapped me.
Damn.
And then lights went out for a little split second, and then I didn't recover enough to really get mine back on him. But I forced him to do it. It took like 20 minutes of convincing. He's like, I'm not gonna. He's like, he
destroy
knew
you.
what was gonna happen.
Yeah. There was great video evidence of it.
He
too.
dragged his feet for a while on that, and I was just adamant. We played Fruit Ninja with our riders,
Real life fruit ninja.
like
Real life
tossing
fruit, yeah.
fruit, and Leighton was the ninja because he was kicking stuff, and he karate kicked a porcelain plate and severed an artery or something in his ankle. I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah. I wanted John to give me the
He was spouting blood like an actual faucet out of his ankle.
Oh my
Jesus.
gosh.
And he was trying to convince John to stitch him back up
Because we had to play the after party.
before the what are they called? The the EM the people-
EMTs.
EMT?
Yeah. I guess that But he still came out to the after party after he got
Nice.
stitched up.
That's so awesome.
Because Leighton doesn't complain about nothing.
Nope. I like what you said too. Like, I definitely like can see that there's like obviously like you want like somebody to be really chill, but you also like want somebody. Sometimes you kind of need somebody to be a little bit of the opposite way.
Yeah, that's where
when
I
you
feel
do
like
it.
that's where I come into play is
Yeah.
to kind of like to be like, hey, maybe this should be a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And having
otherwise
that balance,
everything's just all too easy. Everything's
yeah.
too easy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes you gotta be like, hey, that's an issue we probably need to fix.
If you're an EDM producer and you need some serious sounds, make sure you guys go to XLNTSOUND.com. They have everything you need, from Serum presets, project files, remakes, and even free downloads for you guys. And check out all these different testimonials that all these heavy-hitting EDM producers are saying about XLNTSOUND.com.
And on top of that, use code TheExcellentShow at checkout to save 10% off your next purchase.
So are you guys coming out with an official album?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm excited for some new music. You know?
We do have a lot of singles in the pipeline as far as album goes.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I am very excited about the music that we do have coming out, though.
What
That's
can the
so
people
awesome.
expect?
Are there going to be some band stuff?
There is
Yeah.
going to be some band stuff.
Cool.
We have a track
you.
coming out with Our Last Night in Caslow.
Oh,
So it's
sick.
definitely like a homage to like pop punk, screamo. There's a lot of like drop A tuned guitars in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Our Last Night is sick.
Yeah. And then we do have some like throwback stuff as well that we're really excited about as well. We're bringing back like the 2012 sounds.
Badass. Which instruments do you guys play in the band, or when you guys were in a band?
I was guitar, and I was also a little combo vocal. I was a screamer at one point. I was doing some screams, but I wasn't doing it right. Like I was just like actual screaming. I didn't do the soft screams.
The art
You're
of
just
screaming.
yelling.
Yeah, I was just screaming.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm guitar, piano, and I can play drums, but never played it
Okay.
in a band capacity.
Nice. So you guys are always writing together, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah. And then as far as like, production wise, like, what are some production like techniques that you guys are using right now that you're maybe really excited about, or like maybe new stuff?
See, here's
Like
the
your
thing
tools
is we're
you've been using or
So
anything?
we're still on Cakewalk.
Yeah, I know, but you still have like plugins and shit. Like, what are some stuff
I
that
try to update the sound. I'm tough. I'm like a stick in the mud a little bit with like the tools that I use. Like,
Okay.
it's tough to get me to look at different things. Change the approach with the things I'm using, but still the true tried and tested for us. I think one of the things I do that's fun, that I find fun, that maybe you're definitely not supposed to do, but I end up doing it on a lot of tracks, is I mix pretty well through the entire process with sausage fattener
Oh, on the master?
on my master.
Nice.
I
A
might
2%
not-
sausage?
Maybe a 5%.
A 5% sauce?
But I don't. I
Five
probably don't leave it on
sausage.
by the end. But I just really like.
Yeah,
that.
no, I get it.
And it's been explained to me. Sausage fattener is basically an OTT with extra stuff. It's
Yeah.
a weird. I don't know. I got it explained to me, but it's all of that stuff. If you push it, by the end of the track, if you push it, it's still gonna blend nicely together, because So if something goes into that setup and it doesn't sound good, it gets tweaked. Even though if it's not distorting the right way, it gets kind of swapped. So I feel like it's this weird process that's allowed me to get some loudness and crunchiness, because I like crunchiness.
Yeah.
Especially lately. To get a little bit of crunchiness, because sound systems are so good now. So it's nice to hear some distortion still,
Yeah.
and tastefully. Just hear things feel a little pushed, because I feel like when things feel pushed, they feel more aggressive, so in the right way. But anyways, I feel like it allows the whole mix to get pushed in the end. Maybe not actually using sausage fattener on the master, but it gives it that opportunity to dance nicely together when you smash them all into a wall.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Not
like that.
completely unheard of too. I've heard of people I've also tried it too, where maybe they use sausage fattener just to get like at a 1 or 2%, just to get a little extra dB out of their mix, just a little bit of extra saturation. And I think you're
sausage
right. Sausage fattener is amazing, bro.
That thing's like 20 years old, right?
and it's
so
still
good.
Are you doing it at like the very beginning of the chain, the middle, or the end? If you're
End.
at the end, okay.
Yeah.
So the very last bit, you might
Yeah.
5%. Give me that extra
Yeah.
crunch. Nice, cool. That's a great tip. I mean, people should try that.
It's
There's
fun.
nothing wrong with that.
Because like like I said, it's nice to hear how all of your elements dance together when they're being beaten to shit.
Yeah. And are you? Sorry,
you
go
know,
ahead.
not to that extreme, but
Yeah.
anyways, if things go haywire and don't sound good at all together when they're like a little pushed, in just my thinking is that like it's, you know, if it gets pushed on any system, a live system's redlining a little bit, whatever it is, like it's just like, you know, you want it to still play nicely. Oh yeah.
Where do you usually work? Do you have like some nice speakers? Do you have some like, you know, whatever speakers, and you're more in headphones?
So we got like a panel set up, like did like the sound treatment in the room with panels, and we're on Atoms.
Cool.
Nice.
X1. Is that even a thing?
A7Xs?
A7Xs.
Are they the
A7Xs.
smaller ones or the 2?
No, it's a smaller one.
Yeah,
and like
A7Xs.
the sub setup. But honestly, we using it less and less, and it's all just my favorite headphones right now are gaming headphones.
No shit.
Really?
Yeah,
Cool.
I don't know. I'm really like, I can talk about my experience with producing, but I feel like no one should try to emulate what I'm doing because like it's bad. Like I've always been like production is a means to an end. You know, songwriter first. Like if it sounds good for me, it's good.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just winging it the whole time.
It's so interesting you say that, because I feel like there's this new school thing going on right now where people are producing in AirPods.
Yeah.
They're producing in like the most consumer headphone ever,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
And they're just producing out of their laptop speakers. They're not even doing anything crazy. And there's something like True Tried and whatever
Tested,
True Tried and Tested about that.
the triple T's. No, but I hate to bring it back to Skrillex again, but like I remember the first time we like bumped into he's a super nice dude. We bumped into him, we were talking about it and stuff, and like, you know, back then I was like still on the rise of trying to really hone my production skills, and it was very important to me, and I had just a little bit of a different place in my, you know, but he was like, oh, he was talking about like some of the stuff he'd mix on, and I'm like, you're mixing on that, and you're getting that sound for mixing on. I'm like, how? That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was there doing the same. He was just doing it before anyone else, apparently.
Yeah.
Is there any like up and coming producers or people that are out in the scene right now that you guys are just like so impressed by or excited
Who
for?
are you watching that you really liked watching? Was it 05? House?
Excuse me, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry for butchering that.
AU5.
Oh,
AU5,
AU5,
yeah.
Yeah.
85 is
As far
awesome.
as his
Prodigy.
tutorials or,
So,
his,
like-
or his
Yeah.
music?
He's the anti-me. Like, holy smokes.
Smart
He's
dude.
so knowledgeable, like
Yeah.
listening to him talk on stuff. Like I was definitely watching a bunch of his tutorials just to get like a bit of a beat on certain things that I wanted to do recently in Serum.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. What was it? He has this amazingly cool tutorial on making a super saw, but his
I think I know what it
It's
is.
with,
the
like,
hyper growl?
Yeah.
is using chaos.
Yes, I think I've seen
Which
that.
is a randomizer, and like the routing he was doing on the actual in Serum was like, and it wasn't like he wasn't like follow these steps that I stumbled my way into through trial and error. He had a complete reasoning for every single step he was doing, and he's like, oh, once you do this, this is gonna be like this. So we're gonna apply that random chaos whatever thing. We're gonna modulate this with chaos, so it's not gonna. And like it was just his thinking on how to approach a super saw a different way than the typical way.
Yeah.
Guy's an absolute genius, and he like
Smart dude.
holy moly does
Yeah.
he know his shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's not
We
me.
love AU5.
Yeah,
AU5, he's like the super goat.
But and he's also sharing that knowledge, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Now he's going more into like this mental space of
saw
like
that, yeah.
producing beyond the DAW. I don't even know if that's like what his point is, but like he's like
getting real wook with
he's
it.
getting real wook with it. But like he's talking about energy and inspiration, and I really like that stuff. And it's really cool that he's doing that. I don't know if he's going to do some like long form videos.
Yeah.
But we were talking about it because we saw one of his posts.
It was
about,
like meditation shit.
He's like, don't create for the internet and to go viral, like just create for yourself. And he's like going, and I was like, dude, what if we remix this and like turn it into a dubstep banger?
Try to make it viral.
And
Actually,
try to
viral's
make,
the
try to make
opposite.
it go viral. But
Yeah.
No, we
but
we,
there's
we love
there's
it. He's
definitely
awesome.
something. I don't have any context on that other than what you're telling me, so
Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
be like getting the wrong beat on it. But
Yeah.
there's definitely something to that with
Oh,
like
100%.
creativity is. I remember I think it was like some kind of literature or something I was reading about creativity. Like it's like you have a muse, right? Creativity is a muse, and like it comes and goes, and
Yeah.
you basically like it's outside of your control. It's this thing that's kind of beyond you, and you have to like, dance with it and coax it and try to
Capture it.
Yeah, and make it happy and like so like it can speak through you a little bit. I think when you're trying to access creativity and like access stuff in your mind and get kind of neurons firing, I guess, depending on if you want to be scientific or more vibe about it. But anyways, if you're trying to really just like ascend
Yeah.
musically, there's definitely stuff to that where you got to be taking care of that side of it. You can't just like dumb it down to numbers and crunch it.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we definitely like learned it, like, because this is like the first thing we've ever done that's had like success in a creative field. And what we like, one of the biggest thing that we've learned from that, kind of like to what you're saying, is you have the best percentage or best average or best chance of being successful in creativity is doing something that you authentically like, and then finding things about your personality or things outside of music that you like, whether it be like, I like horror films or I like this, and incorporating that into your art. So whatever that is authentically to you, if you're able to grab all those things and like, okay, I'm going to use this horror movie quote, like just using that as an example, right?
Yeah.
Because I like horror movies, or I'm going to use this sound that reminds me of like a scary movie, like using that into your music, like people radiate off of that. They're able to see that, oh, this is like really genuine, and then it creates better art.
Exactly.
And then when
Yeah.
it creates that
Wholesome.
better
I
art
agree.
and it's
Yeah.
authentic,
Yeah.
people are gravitating to that. They're like, oh, this is good. And it's always like, it doesn't matter. You could be into the lamest shit. It could
Yeah.
be like the dumbest thing that like is not cool. Maybe it's super nerdy, right? But if it's authentically like what you like, and you're able to take that and put that into your music, it's gonna be successful. It's like a rule
Yeah.
we've kind of like
Yeah.
figured out.
Except, so I would not want to be a creative entering the, beginning chapters of my creative process or my creative experience as a person. I'm getting really weird with this.
No, it's good.
I
That's
wouldn't
why we're
want to
here.
be a creative starting off my life right now based on this AI wave.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I feel like it's like so it would squash through create. It's like there's just this supercomputer that's pumping out stuff that's like already better than anything. Like, that's how I would feel if I were trying to come into it now. So like you have to learn to use it, I think, like, or you're gonna have to learn to roll with it. And I just wouldn't want to be in that. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to be coming up in that
Almost
world.
too many
right now.
options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's something interesting. It's like the VST thing, like the DAW. Like we went from making music in real life to
Yeah.
on the computer.
Well, here's the exactly.
inside the
Yeah.
computer,
It
like
tells you
your-
what scale you're in. It
But like,
fixes
here's
it
the
for
thing:
you.
the absolute, master pianist who was like the only person who could play keys like this before people could just write them in, right? Like they probably felt the same way. It's like
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
people are getting access now to basically overtake what I've polished and what I've spent my whole life learning to do. So
Yeah.
like it's just steps. Like this is just another block and so like
Yeah.
it feels weird for me, but I guess if you're coming up in it, you're just it's just with you, it's
Just another tool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's like it's a necessary thing. Like we need to learn how to use it. We
Yeah.
need to learn how to put it into our workflow to put our touch on
Exactly.
it. I think if it's 100% AI, it just gets put into that genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
that's
can tell. They
AI
don't really
music.
It's still
which
scary,
That's like a
though.
genre, but like
There's still
Yeah.
somebody controlling it at the
Yeah.
end of the day. There's still somebody who's prompting it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and maybe that's where the extra creativity comes into, is in the prompting.
Yeah.
I don't know, in the future. But I do think ultimately people suss out what is made. I don't know if this maybe this is getting too weird with it, but like I don't know if AI can really mimic the emotion that a human can put into a song.
It might just it might forever stay in that like uncanny valley.
You just
of,
like know.
just
the uncanny valley.
Yeah,
is
just
Yeah.
not
so
like
sketch.
close, but not perfectly
It's not human.
So
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't know. That's a hard thing to chime in on. But like I said, I would be scared, and like I know creativity is so fickle. Like if that's looming over you, you know,
Yeah.
like I'd hate to be like 13, 14, like trying to be inspired about music right now, and
It's gonna
and
be
knowing
totally
that there's
different.
this
Yeah.
monster
Really competitive.
machine,
Yeah.
and also just the competitive. Holy moly,
A lot of people doing it right now.
we got lucky because we were kind of in that. There was like a dip in the control that the labels and all that stuff had. You know, we got popular off like Hype Machine and stuff
Yeah.
like that. There was that. I feel like we caught that little window where like you don't have to be playing the game or know people or like be in the machine to get people to listen to you.
Yeah.
So like we caught a little like an opening in that system, and I think it closed again a little bit with labels and all them getting control over the playlist and the algorithm, because they're all. I don't know if I sound conspiracy-ish,
No.
but like they're all behind. Like they own
for
most
sure
of
they
most
are.
of these major playlists are curated now by
100%.
labels. So
Yeah, just like the
they-
radio. The radios, people are paying to get put on the radio. That's how it works.
Exactly. So at the point in time where we had our come up, like people were actively searching themselves for music on Hype Machine, stuff like that on SoundCloud. They weren't being curated to, and they were hungry and searching for new and cool music. And then that kind of snapped close again. And now like, I get you still can, I guess, right? But like you're using algorithms, and those algorithms are someone's controlling those algorithms.
Yeah, it's so hard to discover music for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everybody
Exactly.
is just handing you music, and
Exactly,
it's like,
and it's so easy, and it actually is pretty good. Like Spotify's algorithms, for example, I could put a couple songs I like into a playlist. It'll recommend 40, 50 songs instantly that are like exactly what I want to be listening to.
So, yeah, but for
But
me,
they're-
sometimes it's so off. It's like so off. I'm like, what? But it's always hit or miss.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a resurgence back into the blog era, though. Like maybe things will kind of go back underground of like,
Yeah.
hey, like we need actual people telling us what to listen to that they think is cool, because that'd be really great, because that was such a cool time.
It was.
But also for like people that were trying to, like from my perspective, I was like, dude, how do I get on Hype Machine? How do I get on Dancing Astronaut? This
Yeah.
is so fucking hard.
Yeah.
How do I get in the super thread? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all these different things.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like, yes, you guys caught like a wave and you guys were in a specific pocket where like, sure, maybe you didn't have to have like a social media presence in order to be out there, but still it was very difficult. You had to have something really good, and the timing as far as these blogs, because right as soon as blogs started getting big, they started charging money to get people on. So
True.
it wasn't really at a certain point it stopped being authentic.
And we were before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We still have to reach
But
out
still
to
took a
every
lot of
single
work.
blog. We reached out to every single
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, and like people who support
Personally,
us,
yeah.
we would try to keep in touch with them and be
Yeah,
like, hey,
that
here's
wasn't
our
an
new
easy
stuff.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So how much control did you guys have of everything when all of that crazy stuff was happening? So
Pretty
like
well,
Crave went
yeah.
crazy on
We
Hype
had like
Machine.
100% control
Like,
over everything.
were
Yeah.
you guys choosing what was happening? And like, that's really awesome.
And like we were bootlegging things and
Yeah.
we were like grabbing stuff and trying to sort it out after the fact, you
Yeah.
know, and we're kicking ourselves a little bit over like certain stuff, but like, you know, it's how we ended up getting to where we got to.
Yeah.
So now there's a little bit too much red tape for our taste, as far as like, you know, just trying
sure.
to schedule releases that make sense with us, make sense
Yeah.
with collaborations, make sense, you know, and like a lot of cooks in the kitchen as far
especially with collaborators, you have to work with their schedule,
Yeah.
with their release schedule, and then it like branches out into all the people that are you're
Yeah.
not even working with, but you're working around.
The BROSTEP world has fallen into chaos. There is only one redeemer, Excellent Sound. The best BROSTEP pack in the industry. Hard-hitting drums. Abusive basses. 50 bonus Serum presets. Are you sold yet? Grab your parents' credit cards and buy 5,000 copies of BROSTEP Volume 1. What are you up, BROSTEP? Cancel your Splice subscription. Buy BROSTEP Volume 1 today.
I wanted to ask too, just kind of back on the production tip real quick, from somebody that came from Massive, right? Now we have, so you have Massive, so you learned Massive before Serum. Like you learned how to use Massive and make those sounds in Massive, and then Serum came out, and I'm sure that was really cool. But I know for me, I had a little bit started in Massive, so Serum was like, oh, I can do what I was trying to do in Massive a lot
You just hopped
easier.
over it, yeah.
But what I found was, oh, but now that I know Serum and I don't know Massive, there's still things in Massive that I would have liked to been in Serum.
Yeah.
But now Serum 2 has a lot of what Massive has. So for you, for somebody that's like was a Massive guy, are you like really excited about Serum 2 and that, or are you still like basically like, I'm going to open up Massive first? Like,
I'm gonna open up Massive first.
that's sick, dude. That's dope because you just know it. But
I'm
you
gonna
know that like a lot of that is in
I'm
Serum 2
gonna
now.
drop that. I'm gonna drop that into my cakewalk.
Nice.
Like I feel like if I was willing to make that Serum, full on. I mean, I know how to mess around in Serum.
Yeah.
Because all kind of like wavetable things like that they're all similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as like Ableton, but I just a lot of the time it's just you hop in, you have something in mind, you mess around, you experiment, you're like, okay, I know to some degree what I want it to sound like as far from like a technical standpoint. Okay, I want this to sound like a square kind of organy, whatever, piano-y. You're going in and you start trying to shape to get to what you want, and sometimes it's like, okay, it's not clicking, I'm not getting what I want done, so you just pop over to another VST and mess around from there. So I think the first go-to would be Massive.
Yeah.
And if I can get it done and it does what I want it to do, then we're happy. And if it doesn't, then pop over to. But I have been using Serum a lot more lately, just because it's such a powerhouse.
Yeah.
I think we're on Serum 2.
Serum 2.
Yeah.
We got to get you some presets, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll get that.
we're gonna get you laced up. I'm stoked.
I
That's
always
awesome.
think about it like, man, like I have like some friends, but like, dude, I would love, like, I know that like I could sit down with somebody and show them. I feel confident that I could show them like a lot of really cool stuff in Serum if they're not like a Serum user. But I want to sit down with somebody in Massive.
Oh, okay.
Because like I learned it, but I never really learned it to like the extent that you know it. You know what I mean?
okay.
And I feel like if I was to learn what like. I'm always like, let me go back to the roots. Like, how did Skrillex make his first song? Because if I can learn how he made his first song, then I can start figuring out how that developed into what it is now.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like really big into like, let's go back and open up Vengeance. Let's go back and open up Massive. Let's go and like figure out those, and then let's bring those techniques to the new world.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I think. And so
I like that.
Yeah, I
like
think it's
that.
dope that you use Massive.
But I feel like new kids are using like they're going back to Massive now, right? Like
I hope so. Yeah.
Someone told me
still
that
have, like, my
Massive's getting like a
folder presets.
resurgence.
The presets in Massive were never good. There was never a
NKS
single
files?
There was, and then there was the fake Skrillex
Yes.
preset folder. Do you
Yes.
guys remember that? It was like
I never
the
had
meat
that,
and-
or I never looked at
Dude,
that.
it was
Yeah,
like,
the
oh,
nice
these are
party
Skrillex's.
shit, yeah.
These are Skrillex, and it totally wasn't. Like it had some bullshit
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
I remember, dude.
And then there was the fake Skrillex folder.
We should do a
with
video
samples.
of that because
Dude, that was like the
so
lore.
funny, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure they
Oh
probably
my
had some
gosh.
adventure club stuff too,
Yeah.
and Datsik too at one point. Which there was like a Datsik folder, and it's like any preset patch that you open up for Massive, I'm going off right now, is fucking garbage, bro. There's not a single good one. You can open up a ton of good Serum preset packs, right, and they're
True.
still good.
That's true.
It was too old, dude.
Yeah,
It
but
was
nobody
too
knew how to
old.
use it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Is like
Yeah.
you guys knew how to use it and how to make those sounds. That's why I'm saying it's so cool. Is like that was so rare back then.
But we
You
were
had no
doing it.
fucking
We were
YouTube.
doing it blind though. Like I said, we were stumbling into things and like remembering those tricks. It's like, oh, if I do the voicing this way and I shift this over here, then I can start from this point because I've messed around so much to get like there was
Yeah.
no actual method to the madness. Like we were talking about with like AU5,
Right.
Who has like a foundation of understanding.
Yeah.
There's no understanding. It's more just like I know that if I do this, I can get to this. So
Right.
like I can repeat these steps because I've done it for like 12 hours in a row one day.
Yeah, you were the guy that's like, okay, well, I'm just not going to stop until I figure out how
Exactly.
to make the sound
Yeah.
that I want to make.
Yeah.
And where some people, you know, can go like I went for a long time in Massive, but I was like, this is as good as I can get it. Whereas like some people could just sit there.
I would bounce. Like I remember I would run oscillators and voices and bounce like 15 minutes of one kind of growl, you know, because it's transforming as it goes, because nothing was anchored down. Like it was all just kind of going on its own, you know, time.
like almost like a randomizer
It
type
was just
of thing.
phasing through, you know, going through all the phases and the voicing and whatever. I don't know, but like we would have like a 15-minute clip for one, you know, fraction of a second growl.
The mud pie.
And then I would just like use an envelope and just start flipping through that 15-minute clip, playing, you know, play, move, play until I found that thing that section of the growl,
Perfect one,
where it all moved the way I wanted it to, and that sounds a little bit like that vowel I wanted to hit, like, you know, so.
But then how would you be able to remember how that was done if it was going cycling all the way through to learn from it?
Because if I had it in front of me, I could say, but like there's something about, so once you add however many, you could do the voice, that you could click add however many things, and you have to make sure that they're not all triggering, the trigger's not resetting, right?
Yeah.
Once you have that, you can just run through however, you know, 16 voices, and you can shift. There's the 3 bars that you can shift.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're titled. And you can shift.
Yeah, you're doing
you know
great.
what
Don't worry,
I'm talking about, right?
we're with you. People
Very
can follow
much
along. Trust me.
louder.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't need to be AU5 to explain how you did it.
But anyways, I was basically effectively just cycling through a very long period of time of all of these different oscillators and their voices phasing through each other, right? So, you know, I would go back to square one and set up my oscillators differently, and then run it again until I found like a little section that I liked for this new song with this new setup of this new stack of oscillators.
Okay.
And it was tedious.
Yeah.
That's when Leighton would
That's when you
check
say,
out.
"PP, time
That's when I
out,
would
bro."
zone out,
Yeah. But
Go work on this
15
mix.
minutes. Let's go.
That's where all of our basses came from up until a certain point in time. Like they were all just kind of like the same process, but starting and tweaking the sound from the beginning to get like, you know, I want this bass to be a little darker. I want this one to be a little, you know.
Yeah.
And then I would cycle it through that 20-minute clip and find.
Do you still work that way today? Do you guys still work like that, or
Rarely.
more like directive?
Yeah,
like I know how to
rarely.
make this sound. This is the sound I want.
Yeah, and things have been figured out now too. So it's
Yeah.
like, and I know, you know, I don't know everything like from a technical standpoint, but I know what things are called now. So it's like, okay, I want to make blank. You know, I want to make a Reese. I want to like.
Yeah.
I could use the right terminology to at least find like a tutorial on Serum that's going to tell me how to, you know, the building blocks of making the sound that I'm looking for.
You know, that's like a really actually like now that I think about it, that's like a really good like nug right there, is like just knowing the terminology
what things
of
are
what
called.
people with
Yeah.
things
yeah.
because then you can search for it, like what is a Reese bass, right?
Yeah.
Or what is a growl, or what is an FM bass, like
what does a square sound like
Yeah.
relative to a sine wave? You know, like and
vocabulary
Yeah.
is like super important.
Yeah.
I just realized that. We should probably teach people
Vocab.
that.
Vocab is number one.
It
'cause
really
vocab
is.
That's
is
something that-
the key, the access point to, you know, you can have a million sounds in your head if you can't label them.
Right.
How do you get from not knowing how to make them to making them?
Yeah.
That's how me and Danny argue a lot of the time when we're finalizing
Oh, yeah.
packs. We're like, oh,
What's it going to be titled?
Is this a yoink?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
is this a bass one shot? Or
Yeah.
you know, like
Is this
'cause
a
we
donk?
have to categorize.
Yeah.
We have to categorize all of that. And sometimes, you know, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what that is. It
Yeah.
could be a donk and a yoink on top of each other.
Doink,
But
baby.
yeah,
A doinker.
But that's what's fun though, I think, is like we put out a video called the Skrillex like slide bass, right? And I think it was like a slide bass. And it was a specific type of like, I don't even know what it is. It's like an FM bass that opens up and it's from like Quest for Fire. It's like a specific tonal bass he used in Tears, like it's almost like a wub. And we're like, we'll call it a slide bass because it like slides open, right? And then I did some searching and saw somebody else had called it like a samurai bass or a dog bark. One of our
Yeah.
videos was a dog
Yeah,
bark.
Yeah.
And
I know the dog bark.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like the dog bark, right? Like that's not a yoink is just like something that somebody made up. You know what I mean? And then all of us as a producer community be like, yeah, that's a yoink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
when you do get those sounds, like hopefully you can identify what it is and people can search like slide bass. Like maybe this is what I'm looking for, or like.
So yeah, if that is, because you were saying that's a good, like that would be a really good project to set up, is where you basically have a database of names for things, and then just like a template of what this sounds like next to. So you can have like a Wikipedia of like you click on the doink thing and the doink goes, you know, you click on the bark thing, you click on a yoy, it's like, what's a yoy? It's like yoy. And then it's like you hear the sound, and then it can even give you a little bit of like a description of the breakdown of the sound. Like, okay, this is made with a bit crushed.
That's a really cool point.
And just also instruments, you know, like just like bajillion, there's so many instruments.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Different types of drums.
percussive, so much percussion. It's like, I want that wood blocky sounding thing. Like, okay, well, what actually does this, you know?
Yeah, we had a super green student like a couple years back who knew nothing.
Yeah.
Did not know what a snare sounded like. Did not know the difference between a snare and a clap. And it's like we helped them out with that.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of time, but they got it, and then they were off to the races. The synth stuff was like easier for them, weirdly enough. But like
Fair enough.
the drums,
Yeah.
like wood block,
Yeah.
they didn't know what a wood block was.
Or what it would sound like.
Yeah, or a snap, and it's like, oh, it's a snap.
It's a snap.
Like, yeah, so it's very interesting, but I like that encyclopedia of bass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
I think also too, I'm just kind of curious too, like because we talked a lot about production, but like I didn't get a chance to really ask you about like just like the DJ side of
Yeah.
it. So like from like a DJ's perspective and a mix, like how are you building your sets, and like what are types of things that you like to do when it comes to like making your set list as far as edits or anything like that?
So when I'm making them now, it's I like to really ebb and flow between like our heavy stuff, our soft stuff. I like to take the crowd on a journey, and in between all of that, I really like to showcase the stuff that we're listening to, and to kind of cultivate and curate or like showcase like a lot of new artists. And as well, I like to just take some old school like 2011 stuff, some like old school like Nervo or like Nicky Romero, and just like let the newer generation in on some of that like progressive house or like old school dubstep, like that kind of stuff that really like we grew up on.
Nice. And so, are you planning out the set like from start to finish? Do you guys build it in Cakewalk beforehand, or
No. It's we DJ on Tractor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
And,
God, you guys are so
we
different.
are switching over
We're
to
debatably trying to
sticks.
get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what's fun about Tractor is we get to play at the same time. We don't do back and forth. Like
How does that
load
work?
Up. We got, I don't know. We've learned to do it over the years, but like we could both do the same thing on our setups at the same time, and we like let each other kind of like we'll communicate, like we'll bring in songs and show each other like, oh, you want to do, and we'll like bring in like a section. It's like, okay, we'll bring it in.
Interesting.
So
It's
I'll-
weird. It's
yeah.
weird.
I'll make
It's
a
weird
playlist
dance.
with like, I don't know, like 100 songs with like guidelines on like where to go depending on like how the crowd is feeling or how we're feeling or the energy.
And do you do it all on one S4, or are you guys using CDJs in a laptop?
So Lay uses a CDJs,
Okay.
and the mixer, and I use like an old X1 controller and the laptop.
Wow.
Yeah.
We love the
that.
X1. Yeah.
And are those do like a lot of effects and stuff?
Exactly.
Like
We
that.
have,
That's like a
we have
thing for
FX
those that don't
mapped
know.
into
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So we could both basically do the same thing, but on different machine. Well, Leighton could.
No, that makes
but
sense.
Anyways, we
You're
both
able
do
to
the same
control.
thing on different machines, and one of my fortes is repairing damage control. Like I remember we did the back to back. It was with RJ.
Yeah, you were alone with
Bear. So that was I'm always with Lay. Like Lay's, Lay's the live guy. Lay couldn't make it, and it was me and RJ, and RJ was familiar with like the Tractor setup, so he basically just took Leighton's position, and we kind of did it
that's
that
sick.
way. And it was our first time playing together, so things went awry sometimes. And like I would have, I'll have like a half a second window to like recover and get to a position in a song and like drop it in and fill. And like RJ just thinks we're going off the rails because it's like it's too late to fix. And then I just do my magic.
Nice.
And like things are actually before the song gets flipped in, it's all lined up. And he's like, "How the fuck?"
Yeah.
It's your specialty.
That's my specialty.
Wizard
Like,
with the
one of my
X1.
specialties
Nice.
is recovery, but I can only do it on the X1. Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say one of the coolest things I'd ever seen from like a pro DJ set is when I was on tour and I was telling you guys about that with the Hypercrush group, there was another group, Styles and Complete. Shout out them.
Yeah, I love Styles and
Yeah,
Complete.
okay.
Hell
So you know
yeah.
those guys, right?
Yeah.
So we were on tour with them and Hypercrush, and they were like the direct support act. And me and my boy had just played, and we were tearing down our setup, which I think at the time was like an APC 40 and like a DJM 900 mixer. Like we were just doing it at Ableton because we didn't know how to DJ, so like we just figured a way how to do it. And they're coming up and they're DJing, and they're like good DJs. They've been doing this for a while. Like this is our first time DJing. We have no idea what the fuck we're doing. We're just doing our best. And we, as we're pulling our shit out, we accidentally unplugged their setup. And in a split second, right, these guys grabbed the mic and were like, "What's up, everybody?"
Yeah.
And they were just fucking pros.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like some
Yeah.
people, like they just know
Duck
how to
behind
get
the booth.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I felt so bad, but they're like, dude, no big deal. Like,
Yeah.
like, dude, like you after a certain amount of time of playing, like you know how to like get out of anything, you know? And I think that's awesome that you're like the guy that's always thinking about, okay, how can I get out of this if
Yeah.
we fuck up? You
Worst
know?
case, you just start the 7 Nation Army chant. And you're good.
We haven't had to do that in a while, thankfully.
That's
You've
hilarious.
actually done that before specifically?
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
Definitely.
But that's like when something out of your control happens,
Yeah.
like power goes off, you know?
You just go,
Like the like the breaker gets blown on whatever.
No
and then
way.
everything's dead and you just
we got to use that. Bro.
Yeah, that's a good strat.
Yeah. Goes off every single time.
Especially in Europe. Especially in
Oh,
Europe.
yeah.
They love it. We're about at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to tell the producer community anything about what you guys have coming up? Any sneak peeks about the new album, some new music, anything?
They didn't say new album. They said
Yeah.
maybe.
I was
lot
forcing
of
it.
singles.
I was
forcing
doing
it to happen.
the
I like
assumptive
it.
close.
I like it.
Decidedly, there's no album, but we have a lot of really cool singles coming out. I don't know
Nice.
how much we can speak on that.
Can you
to
say
be
a
honest.
date or anything, or no, not yet? Just soon, or
We're gonna go soon.
okay, cool,
Awesome. No, we're super excited. We're always looking for new music from you guys, so
Yeah.
super exciting. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming
you so much
on.
for having
Thanks,
us.
This was a ton of fun.
Thank you.
I'm glad we got to get like a little deep dive with
Hell
you
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, man.
No, it was
really,
awesome.
really fun.
It was awesome.
Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of The Excellent Show with the infamous Adventure Club. We'll
Thank
see
you,
you guys
boys.
on
Thank
the next
y'all.
one. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Appreciate you.
like,
All the
subscribe,
love.
comment. Whew, we out.
Let's go.
Peace.